Welcome to episode 113 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name is Trent. As always, I'm joined by Jason, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Some music, some concerts, some news.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Mixing it up, I think.
Yeah.
Like to be varied. I think we talked about that last week. We were kind of eclectic in the stuff we talked about in that episode.
Yeah.
Before the interview with Skylar Kroom.
That's right. If this episode was a Jeopardy category, it'd be potpourri.
Nice.
It's true.
That's good, yeah.
I never thought I'd say that goddamn word on this show, but there we go.
Right. The penis mightier Trebek.
Oh, man.
Well, if you're listening on WSNR 102.7, we appreciate it. We're also on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Thunder-Underground. Find everything on there. And like I said, streaming every Monday night on 102.7 WSNR. Thanks again to them. Thanks for you for listening. And let's just get into this.
Why not?
Talk about some concerts last week. I went and saw Bret Michaels.
Yeah?
At the Hard Rock here in Tulsa at the Joint.
How was that?
It was exactly what you expect it to be. You know, if you like Bret Michaels, you're going to love it. If you think it's a little cheesy, you're probably going to think it's cheesy.
Yeah.
But admittedly, you know, since I was like 11 or 12, Poison was my first favorite band.
Oh, I know that. I was there. I remember all that.
Right. Before I delved into Guns N' Roses and everything, Poison was where I kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen him countless times. Well, not countless times, but a bunch of times. Both solo and with the band.
Yeah.
And it had been a few years. You know, he usually makes his way around here with his solo thing at least once a year or every year and a half at least. And I haven't gone the last few times, but I figured, hey, it's due time because it's been 3 or 4 years. I think the last time I saw him was in Fort Smith at the old Rib Room, which is now the Sound Room.
Gotcha.
On my way to Bill Street.
Okay.
Because he was playing the night before. But in typical Bret fashion, that's just a bunch of Poison songs and then Sweet Home Alabama and usually another cover or something thrown in. This one was Rock and Roll All Night.
Tell me he didn't do his god-awful, god-forsaken version of What I Got.
Nope. I was talking about that day too.
Fuck Christ.
Because he played that when I saw him in Fort Smith. And that, I think, is on that covers album he did. But anyway, we're not going to talk about that.
No, let's not. It's a terrible cover of an even more terrible fucking song.
I thought you liked Sublime.
No.
Okay.
Are you serious? I fucking hate that band. I can't stand that band.
Okay.
Never have been, you know, it's like, they're, oh, man. Don't even get me started.
Okay, I won't.
I can't
I'm in different,
fucking stand that band.
I don't mind them, but I don't really care that you don't like them.
As long as we've known each other, you've never known that.
I thought, well, no, it's Thrasher that likes them. That's what it is.
Yeah, I can't fucking
Thrasher.
stand fucking Sublime. Ugh.
Anyway, back to Bret Michaels.
Sorry.
Well, the only complaint is, this is typical, times I've seen him, he plays like 10 songs.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty short, 9 or 10 songs, literally.
Because he's got to do his whole, all of his goddamn stage raps and stuff.
But he stretches it out into a good hour and 20 minutes. And the only thing I give, you know, one thing I've always given him credit for is even though he's doing those stage raps and a lot of the stuff is stock and stuff, he never looks like he's going through the motions. It always looks genuine and always looks happy.
Yeah. And
he always sounds happy. Like he's having a good time. When he's saying he's having a good time, it doesn't seem like he's faking it.
Yeah.
So you got to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, every time I've seen him, I've been fortunate enough to be in the best crowd he's ever played for.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Every crowd is the best crowd. But see, and that's the thing. I'm kind of like you. It's like, And that's why I still give him a pass, is because he's just, his positivity, and, you know, it's a little corny, but you can't help get caught up in it when you see it live or whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
And he has Eric Brittingham with him now, in case you didn't know.
That's great.
From Cinderella.
Yeah.
And he, of course, was kick-ass.
Yeah.
What do you expect from one of the original members of Cinderella?
Yeah.
His drummer was great. He even did a solo. I thought he was extremely good. So this rhythm section was really good. The guitarist was a serviceable guitarist, I guess. I don't want to...
See, you were telling me you weren't really... What was up with... Why didn't you like this cat?
It's hard to... don't want to say I disliked him. You know, he was good enough to do it. And it's not like... And some people are going to be thinking, well, this guy's replacing CC DeVille. And I know a lot of people have always talked shit on CC.
Yeah.
You know, because no one's calling him a virtuoso. But the thing about CC DeVille is when you hear one of his solos, you can tell it's him. Yeah. And that's always the mark of something unique and good, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Whether you think CC DeVille's an awesome guitarist or not, it's irrelevant. To me, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a sound.
And this guy was hitting the rhythm parts, you know, the riffs and everything, but the solos just didn't sound right at all. And it wasn't like he was making them his own mark. He was still kind of playing them the way they were. They just didn't sound right to me.
Yeah.
But also... You know, most every show I've ever seen at the Joint in Tulsa sounds great. This sounded a little bass heavy, and which isn't a bad thing since it was who it was. But you know, it just the way it was mixed, the guitar didn't sound loud enough either.
Really?
So maybe that could have played into it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
But overall, you know, Bret sounds good. He always, like I said, always puts on a great performance, even though it might be stock every night.
Yeah.
He's at least giving you your money's worth and making, you know, if it's the only time you've ever seen him, you know, you're going to feel like it was cool as hell.
Yeah.
And I know, and he's doing this actually tonight, Wednesday night, if you're listening to this, the day this drops, he's doing this online thing because it's his birthday today.
I see.
Where he did it last year too, where he sells like 200 tickets and that's it. And if you buy a ticket, you can watch this live stream, and it's like a one-time stream that'll never be shown again, supposedly.
Yeah.
And you know, he plays music, the band plays music, and he plays some acoustic stuff, and then he answers your questions. And those 200 people have the right to, you know, bid on stuff. Because, you know, at the end of every show, he auctions off everything. Not everything, but he auctions off the guitar the guitarist is playing. He auctions off his hat and his bandana and some other stuff. And, you know, the thing we were at, they auctioned off those three things, and I think the total was like over 10 grand.
Wow. You
know, because someone bid like $5,000 on a guitar and a couple $1,000 on a hat. And,
wow.
Or maybe so it was close to 10 grand.
I like that streaming idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's kind of a cool, unique thing because it's a one-time thing. Yeah. It's not like you can watch it the next day on YouTube.
Exactly. If one of my favorite bands did it, I'd want to fucking buy a ticket, you know?
And it said he's doing an acoustic version of Cry Tough, you know, to celebrate the, you know, the 30th anniversary or whatever.
Gotcha.
Actually, it's 31 now, I guess. Yeah. But he's kind of like Tesla where he doesn't know how to do math. But
yeah, I know. Well, hey, these are rock stars. They're not paid to be mathematicians, Trent.
Right.
Okay, just give them a pass.
Yeah. But that's, you know, like he's playing Cry Tough on this. Why don't you play Cry Tough in your set? You know,
yes.
Maybe Poison is going to on this Def Leppard tour. Who knows? But
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if they pull out anything or if it's all just the stock stuff like normal. But they're doing some headline dates in there too.
Yeah,
so.
You never know. You never know.
And speaking of that, I know you saw it too. Talking about CC and these Poison dates, a couple of their shows, Extreme is on the bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess when Extreme or Nuno posted this,
there's a bunch
of fanboys in there, bitching about the fact that Extreme, you know, is too talented and great to be opening for Poison.
Well, that's just stupid.
And then, of course, Nuno.
Because Nuno's a class act.
Never being shy about posting shit on Facebook.
No.
You know, basically laid into these people.
Well, he should. He should. You know, and just the fact that he knows, you know, and he knows, you know, what this is, and it's for an audience, and he knows that Poison has the hits. I mean, sorry to cut you off, but just I'm glad he kind of put these trolls in their place.
Yeah.
you know?
And not just the fact about the band, he was also defending CC, and this is Nuno, who's a virtuoso.
Yes, exactly. What's that tell you?
Defending this guy that so many people like to rip on. So,
yeah, I thought it was really cool. It was a really cool read. And I thought that was a great bill. What was it? Poison Extreme and Jackal?
Yeah.
Fucking sign me up.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's
That's
like
awesome.
It's like our 1992 dream.
I know.
Yeah. If you could just add Anthrax to the bill, it'd be amazing, even though it doesn't fit.
That might be a little tough.
I think that was last Thursday night.
I think I'm up now, aren't I?
Yeah. So the very next night.
Yes.
What did you do?
Made the trek to Dallas for Saxon and UFO and James Jared Nickelheimer Schmidt. I don't know his fucking name. It's like one of the guys with 3 names. I hear he's a ripping badass. No disrespect. I just can't remember the guy's name. But
did you get there in time to see him?
No,
Oh, okay.
we were rushed as hell. We got there just in time to get to the room. And then get over to the venue literally like 10 minutes before Saxon hit the stage.
Oh, wow.
And you know, it's the Gas Monkey, and the floor was pretty crowded, and we went down, and it kind of slants down and then flattens out, you know?
Yeah.
We stood right where it was, just at the bottom of the slant. That way you're just a little higher up than all the other heads.
Yeah.
And you were still close enough where you could see really good. And I mean, it was a great show. They started playing, the lights went down. They started playing It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll. And they get about halfway through it, and then they just walk out. And there's bam right in the battering ram. I mean, there's no curtain unveiling or majestic music. It just, the AC/DC shut off and then bam right in the battering ram. It was sweet.
Yeah.
It was great. I mean, I love Saxon. They're one of my favorite bands. But I mean, I'm telling you, you've got what you've got here is you've got Nibs Carter, okay? You've got Doug Scarrett. You've got Paul Quinn. You've got Nigel Glockler. And you've got the fucking man, Biff Byford.
Yeah.
These guys, do your grandpas do this shit? No, they don't. Okay? These guys, I mean, it's just insane the amount of energy and just how amazing these guys sound. There's nothing phoned in. I mean, Biff Byford's 66 and he sounds amazing. He's nailing everything. He's doing all these high notes and all this shit, and fucking Nibs Carter, the bass player, it looks like his head's gonna fucking pop off. He's like doing all these windmills and shit. And I was really impressed with, Paul Quinn. Yeah, he's the solo player that's like, just to look at him play, it looks kind of like, almost like, raw and maybe, I don't want to say sloppy, but kind of Jimmy Page-ish, but like every note is on point and every flurry is there. It's kind of like, a Dave Mustaine type kind of solo playing, like where it doesn't look like, his playing it almost looks like he's slapping the fretboard, but the sound is coming out as just accurate and amazing. I mean, it was just, they had a great set list. I'd been, the night before in Houston was the opening night, and they did 12 songs. And then in Dallas, they did 13 songs. They switched some stuff around. They added in 20,000 Feet, which was bad fucking ass. And they played Denim and Leather, which they hadn't done in the U.S. in a while, I don't think. I'd noticed that it was like on some stuff in Europe, was Denim and Leather. And they didn't play it when we saw them in Oklahoma City a few years ago.
But they did play it when we saw them at Rocklahoma.
Yes, which I don't remember, and we don't need to get into that right now.
Okay.
But anyways, they played it. It was fucking great. Dallas 1 p.m., Power and the Glory.
Yeah.
They played Sacrifice, Motorcycle Man, which was great for me. I love that song. That was kind of my intro into that band. You'd think it would be like denim leather or something, but that was like, because I'm a Metallica freak and they covered it like 10 years ago, and that's where I kind of started. Anyways, just a great fucking night. It was just an amazing set. And, I didn't stick around to see UFO.
You son of a bitch.
Because you're going to give me shit, but I'm not a big UFO fan. Sorry. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And, and to stick around, and I don't hate them, but, to stick around and see them, I would have had to have, had a few beers or something. And beers were like $10 fucking. So we just went and drank somewhere else cheaper. So I just saw Saxon. So, so sue me. I'm sorry. I'm only human.
Yeah.
I can tell you want to fucking unload on me. Go ahead. It's okay. It's okay.
I understand.
Well, okay. All right.
It's not like Dr. Doctor is one of the greatest songs of the 70s or anything.
Jesus Christ. You know what? It might be, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not my bag, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, is that okay?
I guess it's okay.
What's wrong with I'm not dissing them. I'm not slagging them like I did Sublime a little bit ago.
Right.
They're just not my thing. It's okay.
I understand.
So that's where that went. And, we decided, hey, they're playing San Antonio the next night. We're not doing anything. Let's go to San Antonio. We knew that they're off sale, and we thought, well, we might not get tickets, but we're not doing anything anyway. So let's just go. And we didn't. It was all sold out. There was guys out there trying to get tickets that couldn't get tickets.
Oh.
And it was a done deal, man. And I looked up the set list too. They headlined. It was the only night on this tour that Saxon was headlining, because I think they do a little bit better. That's like one of their biggest cities in America.
Really?
That they do good in is San Antonio.
I figured it was just like a flip flop every night thing.
Eddie Trunk was talking about that on the show the other day, and they played like 16 songs. They played Strong Arm of the Law. They played Chasing the Bullet. I mean, they did all kinds of great shit, but it was not to be, but it was okay. We kind of knew that going into it, we were just spontaneous, but that was my Saxon weekend.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, I had a blast. They're a great, amazing live band.
Yeah. Hey, I will tell you, I saw UFO here in Tulsa a few years ago, and
you saw them.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, well, you saw them at the Vanguard, which probably was pretty damn cool.
Yeah. You
were probably right up there.
Yeah, what's his name? Phil, what's his last name? Mogg, yeah, sounds flawless live. Mm-hmm. Vinnie Moore, has been in that band for a while now, kicking ass.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anyway.
Well, Vinnie Moore can play anything.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to talk about, Saxon here, classic metal. Yes. Ripping badass stuff, that represents
I know where we're going. I like it.
Represents that sound of the 80s, but just a little bit heavier than most bands. Right. Let's play some Deathgrip.
Yeah, we've got the band for you, people.
Yeah, this is a band, coincidentally, out of Dallas, Texas, where you just were.
Yes.
Called Deathgrip, and we'll talk about it when we get back, but this is their brand new track that just dropped at the end of January called Demonizer. Demonizer from Deathgrip out of Dallas, Texas. We've had on the drummer from that band, Scott Bond, on episode 73.
Go back, listen to that one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stories.
Yeah, he's got tons of stories from throughout his career, and he's been in Deathgrip now for a couple years, and he talks about all the stuff they've got going on, too.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, they're going to be playing Rocklahoma this year, just like they did last year. And they're playing the Friday, early evening, is what I saw them post. I don't know that the actual lineup's been released, but they're playing the Friday on the retrospect stage, and then they're playing Saturday night on the Camp Jager stage.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean,
that's awesome.
That song's ripping, just kicking ass. That the vocals are, just unbelievable.
Yeah, the vocals just ripped my head open right down the middle.
Like the scalp is split?
Yeah, the scalp is split, and my brains fell out because the vocals are just, so badass.
It's like Rob Halford Fight era.
Yeah,
I really got
crazy.
I really got that kind of fight vibe, you know, but it's also got that, you know, like I mentioned about Saxon, the classic 80s metal sound, and then also that Judas Priest sound, you know, kind of lends to that because of the vocals. It's got a real power metal vibe, Primal Fear. You can hear that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just mix all that stuff together. You know, these guys got something badass going on.
Scott Bond's back there squashing balls on the drums.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and they've got a video for this song. Check it out on YouTube. It's pretty cool. You know, it's got some, you know, performance stuff as well as
I like
some
the
graphics
guy's
going on.
head's like getting swollen and blowing up. That was badass.
Yeah.
And just falling over. It was great.
But yeah, once again, search Deathgrip on Facebook. Follow them, like them. Check these guys out. You can buy that song Demonizer on iTunes. So go do that.
All right.
And we mentioned Camp Jager. They released their lineup, you know, here a while back. We hadn't talked about it yet. We mentioned Deathgrip. We've also got Fist of Rage, Switchback, and London's Dungeon.
Yes.
London's Dungeon is also from Texas, like Deathgrip. Switchback's from Arkansas, and Fist of Rage, of course, from here in Tulsa.
That's right. We love them. We love all those bands.
And Camp Jager, we've talked about every time we've talked about Rocklahoma because, you know, we camp within fairly close distance of that. We can walk to it within 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we're over there all the time. They always put on excellent, you know, production shows, all this stuff. Thursday all day is a pre-party that's a joint deal with the Retrospect stage, so a lot of those bands end up over there. Mm-hmm. But this year they're just doing 2 bands Friday night, 2 bands Saturday night, and then Sunday night they're having a party, and it's calling it quits.
Yeah.
Guess this is their final year. They're deciding to wrap it up after, I think a 9-year run. I think they started in it was either the second or third year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, you know, hey, glad they've been a part of it every year.
Yeah, and you can't blame them, you know. I mean, you go on a vacation to go set up a stage and run that all weekend. Probably want a vacation from that, so.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you know, I get it.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, they picked 4 bands. It's a strong as hell lineup. If
Yeah,
you're only going to
yeah,
pick 4 bands.
Yeah, what a way to blow it out.
Yeah, I've actually seen, I haven't seen Switchback, but I've seen the other 3. And looking forward to it. And, you know, all these things go on after the main stage ends Friday, Saturday night. So after Def Leppard and Soundgarden, get over there and watch those 4 bands. And it's Sunday night. I'm not sure exactly what their farewell party is going to be, but I would assume it would be, you know, a lot of people over there since it's the final night.
Yeah.
At least as far as the stage goes.
Yeah, it'll be
You know,
great.
They'll still be out there next year partying, I'm sure.
That's right.
Well, what else do we got to talk about?
Well,
speaking of Rocklahoma,
yeah, we're just like, I like how we just are flowing into these subjects. They just kind of segue perfectly right into each other.
Yeah, the Rocklahoma Madness is what it's called, and it's KMOD's done this the last few years, I know. Where they at least KMOD sponsors it as part of, you know, with Rocklahoma, and they do like a 16-band tournament, basically around the same time as March Madness to play off of that. You just get on the website and vote. They're now in the second round. The first round just ended recently. And whichever band wins this gets to play the, let me say this right, the River Spirit stage.
Yes.
That used to be the Hard Rock stage. It's the
River Spirit stage.
It's the second, basically the second stage, the big, you know, there's 3 stages in there, and it's the second biggest one, basically. So whoever wins this gets a slot, you know, an opening slot, I think, on Friday.
Yeah.
And we're in the second round, and I know we've got Less Than Human, Driver, Screaming Red Mutiny, Grind, Smoke Offering, the Normandies, and I forgot the other 2 bands.
Is Machine in the Mountain, did they make it?
Yeah, Machine in the Mountain.
Okay.
I believe, yeah. Or did Smoke Offering did not make that? I should not say that.
Oh, okay.
I believe they were up against Screaming Red Mutiny and I can't remember.
I
or
don't
at
know.
least that's now. I should have it pulled up, but I was like, how do I vote on this shit?
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I'll vote, and then I'll go, like, vote for somebody, like, you know, when I vote again, I vote for the opposite, because I don't want to fucking...
You just canceled your vote out.
Yeah, I canceled my vote out, and I'm like, well, I did no fucking good there. I don't want to hurt anybody's chances, you know, of getting a great slot at this festival.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I love all these bands, you know, so it's tough. I don't know, but you know what? It doesn't really matter because, you know, KMOD's website is so dicked up anyways. So it's probably all fucked anyways. So
it's already rigged.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't get me started on that.
Yeah, I think, you know, whoever wins it, it's a good thing because, you know, even if there's not a mass crowd over there, there's a lot of people already in the festival. Yes. You know, gathering over there.
Well, you know, and it's, you know, it's something you can put on a resume, you know, and it's experience.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that'll be in there that'll hear you regardless if they're over there watching you. And then that's always a draw, too.
Yeah, you know, your name's on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I mean, bam, you know. And, you know, it's just all I can say is, you know, best luck to all these guys, you know. I mean, if it was up to me, every one of them would be on there, you know. Any of these bands we listed could benefit from this. I mean, Less Than Human, you know, has a stage show going on that, you know, people would, you know, probably be drawn to. No shit.
Scream Red Mutiny, of course, has a sound that, you know, would fit perfect out there. Machine in the Mountain as well. The Normandies, you know, would kind of be a kick in the ass to, like, people be like, well, what the fuck? This is different, you know. We got some punk rock out here. You know, just all these bands bring something, you know.
And I know, and, you know, like you said a minute ago, KMOD probably already knows who they're going to put up there, so
right.
Fuck it, I said it, you know. I mean, I don't know for sure, but, you know.
Well, as long as it's one of the bands we just mentioned.
Yes, there you go,
Yeah. Well, is it time to play some more music? That's a good segue because this band we're going to play is playing Rocklahoma.
Yes, they are.
On the Axis stage, which also the Normandies are on the Axis stage, and they're just trying to make it to the...
That's right.
...to the bigger stage. Well, let's do this. This is a brand new song from Locust Grove. Out of Oklahoma. They're actually out of the Oklahoma City area. I know Zane Smith's from Chickasha. A couple of these guys are from Norman.
Nice.
Zane Smith, of course, was formerly of Antemortem.
Yeah.
Who's another badass band out of Oklahoma who had a great album out that you need to check out if you never have.
Oh, for sure.
But once you check that out, then turn around and get on the Locust Grove train because these guys...
Yeah, Locust Grove is where it's at. Do that first, whatever.
Yeah, these guys... Man, I can't explain it. I talked about it when I saw them live.
I can explain it. Well, you saw them live. You're lucky. I haven't seen them live yet. I will, though.
It's just like this in... You know, intensity is a good word. Balls out fucking metal. It's just... Yeah. You watch the video for this. That's a good way to put it because all four guys... The drummer included are just like headbanging, going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
This video,
That's what you want.
Yeah, this video shows that. The video was actually recorded at Thunder Alley.
Yeah, looked familiar. That's what I thought it was.
So, I mean, riffs. You know, there's riffs galore. There's badass vocals galore.
This song. Look. Listen to me. This song can't walk. It can't walk because its balls are so goddamn huge they're dragging on the ground. They're like one of those... This song is like one of those pictures of like those third world dudes with huge fucking balls that's covered up by a fucking sheet. They can't fucking walk. They can't fucking walk because the balls of this song are so big. And then that solo comes in and it's just like all soulful and it's like all soaked and wet. So then the balls are wet and big. I mean, this song... Fuck. I mean, this is a good song. And then the chorus hits and you're fucking singing it, gets stuck in your head. I can't wait to see this band live. I wish to hell when they were opening up for Sons of Texas, I didn't have to work at 4:30 in the morning the next day.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my review, my Locust Grove review.
Well, you're going to get the chance. They're playing the Shrine on May 13th with...
That's right.
Reliance Code, the Revolutioners, and another band.
Well, I'm going. I don't know how they're going to get those balls on the stage, but I'm going to go and watch and see how they do it.
Did you know the drummer of this band used to be in Lord Dying?
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I just saw it on his page of like skimming through, and it said formerly drummer of Lord Dying.
Well, it wasn't the guy that we saw him with. The guy we saw him with was like kind of had short hair, and he was kind of bitchy and stuff. Remember, he was kind of bitchy about the lights and
I forgot about that.
He was kind of divish, but anyways.
Yeah, it's not that guy.
No, okay, good.
I think Lord Dying has had several drummers.
Probably.
But back to this, yeah,
Okay,
Locust
yeah,
Grove. They've got several songs up on Reverb Nation. Go check them out. If you didn't like that song, suck it and turn us off.
Turn it off right now and go listen to Christopher Cross or something. Fuck you.
Are you knocking on sailing right now?
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't I?
What the fuck?
Next subject, Trent.
You didn't see UFO and now you're knocking on Christopher Cross.
Jesus Christ. Here we go. It started last week, and now the beginning of the end just continues. You're being too mean, and my old delicate ego can't handle it.
What do you have against Michael Schenker? First you hated Scorpions, now you hate UFO.
Damn.
I know he's not in either
Jesus
band still, but
fuck. They don't suck. They're not bad. I just never dug any of the Schenker ilk. I don't know.
All right. Well, I know something that you did dig.
Okay.
That's Metallica.
Yes.
And you still
do. Yeah, I'm stupid for that band.
So let's talk about this. The other day I'm skimming through YouTube, and one of these guys that I've subscribed to is named Guitarrazze, I think is how you say it. So look this up. It's Guitarrazze is his YouTube name. I looked to see if he had a Facebook page or anything. I couldn't find one. But this guy basically re-records. I think he's done some other stuff, but the ones I've listened to, he recorded Metallica songs, and he would take something from, say, Death Magnetic and record it in the Injustice for All tone, or something from the Black Album and record it in the Injustice for All tone. He was really fond of the Injustice for All tone, I think.
Yeah.
Those were several of the ones I listened to, and it was always kind of blew my mind how he could do that. And just the other day, he uploaded To Live Is To Die if it was on the Black Album.
Yes.
And you think, well, this is just some dude recording this shit. No, this dude knows what the fuck he's doing. This is high quality stuff.
How he can capture these production styles, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's one thing to just, learn a song and play it, just learning a song from your favorite band, but to get these production styles down is pretty, and it's pretty neat. I couldn't do it in a million years. I couldn't even fathom it.
Yeah, it's just like, and he adds stuff to the song to, like, besides just the, guitar or drum sound.
Yeah.
It's like he had this orchestration part into it, like, was on Nothing Else Matters or Unforgiven.
Mm-hmm.
Put that into the mix, and and a lot of the previous ones, he would change up the solos a little bit to, like, kind of fit the style of that record. But this one, he left the solo the same and just made it sound like it was on the Black Album.
Yeah.
And that still just blows my mind how much it sounded like a Black Album song. I'm like, this easily could have been on that album. And I mean, this song is so good because it's, like, obviously one of their all-time great songs.
Yeah.
And all-time great metal songs, if you want to say that, too. So it's just, you got to go on YouTube and look this guy up and listen to this.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's there was if Spit Out the Bone was on, I haven't listened to that one yet. I think if Spit Out the Bone was on Injustice for All. And then there was some other dudes that were trying to be like this guy that did some crazy shit, like if Hardwired was on Saint Anger.
Oh, God.
And it was just all, because, the beginning of Hardwired is real drum heavy, so of course it sounded like total ass.
Yeah. I think next we're going to go into a little local talk.
Are we?
The Devil You Adore.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get into that. What's going on with them?
Well, our good friends at Devil You Adore just announced recently that they're changing their name effective, is it after Rocklahoma, right?
I think so, yes.
So, as we talked about here a few weeks ago, they've got a new vocalist now, Devon LaCour. He used to be in King High, great band. He's got a great voice. But they decided with the change, because previously they had a female singer, and it's kind of obviously has shifted the sound of the band. Mm-hmm. And they're, saying their new stuff's heavier, so they just thought it was time to change the name, and they've changed it to Claim Your Enemy.
Okay.
And
that's a cool name,
Yeah, I like it.
And I get it, you've got a different voicing coming in, and it's affecting the songs, and maybe that's what you feel you got to do,
Yeah.
Maybe that's just how it feels. It feels right to do that.
Yeah, when you do that, it's got to be a tough choice to make because you've already spent all this time promoting yourself, promoting your band. You've got out T-shirts and CDs and stuff, stickers and everything, and you've let it, and everybody knows who you are now. And now you're not starting over because a good chunk of your fan base is going to be there and see this happening. But there's going to be a lot of people it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to that or to find out. So, hopefully it's a smooth transition for them. And
I'm sure it will be.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's going to sound great.
Yeah, I mean, they're a great band. We're here to talk about them forever because, we love these guys.
That's right.
We actually had the full band on back. We recorded it last year at Rocklahoma, so it came out last June, I believe.
Okay.
So go check that one out as well. Well, what else we got? We got some stuff that's like completely off the wall from everything else we just talked about. You want to talk about this new Chris Shiflett stuff?
Yes, I did. Chris Shiflett, he's the guitar player for the Foo Fighters. And, when he's not doing that, he's got his own podcast called Walking the Floor.
Which, by the way, does he still do that?
I don't know because it's not on any of my lists, and he hadn't done it. But when he did it, it was really good, and it was mainly, when he's not doing Foo Fighters, he's really into honky tonk, old country, kind of rockabilly kind of stuff, and he's had Chris Shiflett and the Dead Peasants. They did an album. It was, if you like kind of roots rock, or, Americana stuff. Then they did a covers album of a lot of old country songs. That was great.
Well, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
He did one of Merle Haggard's final interviews. And
yes, that's right, and it was a good one.
Yeah, it's a great podcast. It's like a 45-minute interview with Merle Haggard, and you got to check it out.
Yes, and he's got a new album coming out God, I looked it up the other day. I'm terrible. I think it's in April.
Okay.
And there's 2 songs on Spotify. They're on Sirius. One's called Sticks and Stones. One's called West Coast Town. And I mean, it's like great, just like, it's like got an old country feel, but not like an old feel, and I think that's what his voice helps that out, gives it a little bit more of a modern feel. And it's just good, like, dusty desert fucking road trip, kind of just Americana rock and roll. So go check it out if you're anywhere into any of that.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Well, speaking of the Foo Fighters, did you see that they're doing a new Sonic Highways, basically?
I've heard, I've heard that
they mentioned that it was going to be a second season of this.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if that meant, because you remember when that came out and everybody watched them all. Yeah. It's like, this was so good that even outside of just the songs they were recording, the good chunk of the show was just them, Dave Grohl, and a little bit from the other guys delving into the music of that town. So I thought, they could easily just go to any town they wanted that has any kind of musical history and keep doing this.
That's right.
So even if they're not working on another album with it, they can still just do it,
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what they do.
Are they going to go overseas, you think?
You'd eventually have to, because you could find another 8 cities in America to pull it off with.
Definitely. And, I just can't wait till they go to Gothenburg.
Right. I hope so, yeah.
Oh, shit. Anyways. Next.
Well, speaking of documentaries, I watched that Eagles Death Metal documentary a while back.
I still haven't seen that.
And that's just, man, that's so good. Like, it's not good in the sense of like, you feel like it's hard to get through, basically because, the subject matter, but it's so, they were with them the whole time they were going back and everything. So it's real, you're seeing all these emotions like for real. It's not like a forced thing or anything. But it's good because it gives you a lot of the background on Josh Homme and,
Jesse.
Yeah. And it gives them, it gives a lot of the, the history I didn't realize between them two went clear back to when they were kids.
Yeah.
And, it talks about, of course, why Josh wasn't involved with it once, after the first album, and only on occasion and everything. And it shows a lot of footage from the concert when they went back, and it's even got like Bono and The Edge on there talking about it, since they invited him to come out and play.
That's right.
At their show before that and all that.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth checking out if you like music documentaries.
Yeah, I need to see it.
We're going to talk about this Pearl Jam thing.
I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
Because we already kind of talked about this whenever they announced RnR Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And
they announced the winners. Pearl Jam, of course, was one of the inductees. I say winners. They announced, it's not the band who picks it. For those of you who don't know, it's the Hall of Fame who says these are the people that are getting inducted.
Yeah.
And it's so kind of weird because they've always said basically the rules are you had to have played on an album.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only rule. So you can't be like, I can't think of someone off the top of my head, but, when Guns N' Roses went in, they didn't induct Gilby Clarke because he played on an album, but it was the covers album, so they figure, well, that's not important enough. But they didn't induct Dave. I'm going to always say his last name wrong.
Abraziz.
Yeah.
That's how I say it. I don't know if that's how it is, but that sounds the easiest coming out of my dumb shit mouth.
Right.
But
they didn't have him on the list, and he played on the first two albums, right?
No, I mean, Dave Cruzen played on 10.
Oh, he came in during that.
But he came in during that tour cycle. He was in all the fucking videos. He was on MTV Unplugged. He played on the next two albums, which were also huge.
Yeah, Versus and Vitalogy.
And he doesn't get in. What the fuck is that all about? I don't get that.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no sense.
And they're inducting Matt Cameron.
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame doesn't fucking make any sense anyways.
They're inducting Matt Cameron, which that's great because, this guy deserves to go in there. He's part of Pearl Jam for a long time, and of course, an original member of Soundgarden. But he doesn't deserve to be in it more than Dave.
That's right.
For this band.
Yep.
And anyway, the reason we're bringing this back up is because Pearl Jam announced that they're bringing them all.
Yeah, all five drummers are guests of the band.
Yeah.
They can't get inducted, but I think the band can bring who they want and I guess come up on stage with them. I don't know. That I'm not sure of. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully
I don't know how that works out.
Yeah.
But it's a class move by Pearl Jam, and it kind of it shows that they recognize how dumb the fucking Rock Hall is being. So I was really glad that Pearl Jam's doing that because they've got their output is such that each drummer was there at some kind of pivotal time.
Yeah.
So I think all those guys should be on there. Band to band, case to case, everything could be different, but that's one of those where, at least 3 or 4 of those guys should fucking be there. So I'm glad Pearl Jam's doing that. I think that's a great thing.
Well, you've got Dave Cruzen and Jack Irons. So who's the fifth one? I'm forgetting.
The guy that used to be in Smashing Pumpkins for 5 minutes, Matt something. He was another Matt, and he was there just did kind of an interim thing, but they're still inviting him.
Nice.
Because once again, they're class fucking people.
Well, we're getting closer to that, and I haven't watched the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 10 years. Mm-hmm. But if they end up saying Steve Perry and Journey's going to perform together, I'll probably break down and watch.
Yeah. It could still happen. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just they're doing it in secret,
Yeah.
Keeping it from us until the night of, and we all go, oh, shit.
Right.
Well,
if this is your first time listening, we appreciate it. I mentioned earlier, soundcloud.com/Thunder-Underground. The Thunder Underground is the website. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. YouTube is at The Thunder Underground. Subscribe to us there. We've got a new thing we do now called Every Album in a Row.
Yes.
Which is basically what it sounds like. We pick a band, and separately, on our own time, we listen to all their albums in chronological order from the first song to the last song. as long as it's not a live album or something, just all the studio albums. And we've done Metallica, we've done Megadeth, both those are up there. Guns N' Roses is coming later this week.
That's right.
And you'll probably get Ozzy and some other ones soon after that.
Yes.
So yeah, be on the lookout for those and check out the previous ones. We've also got reaction videos for Metallica's Hardwired album, Avenged Sevenfold's album, The Stage, Black Sabbath concert. On our SoundCloud, you can check out all the previous 112 episodes. We've had on guys from Corrosion and Conformity, from Battlecross, from The Obsessed, from Megadeth, Crowbar, Sons of Texas, Soil, Warrant, Insight, Scattered Hamlet, Europe, The Bullet Boys.
God, we've had Drowning Pool, Avatar. You're talking about Ozzy. We had him on once.
Oh, that was a good one. Episode
Jimmy Page, 3. James Hetfield. Okay, we've had none of those other guys on. But we did have Drowning Pool on. We had Avatar.
We had Freddie Mercury's final interview.
Jesus Christ. We've had, like you said, guys from COC, Sid Falk, Overkill. We had some great local guys, Driver, Severmind. We were talking about that Rocklahoma Madness. We've had Screaming Red Mutiny, Machine in the Mountain. We've done some out there kind of stuff with Shooter Jennings and Ian Moore. We've had Chris Green, from Taiketo, Eric Kluber, Mark Kendall from Great White, Devin Micah from Micah. We've had her on, Scott Bond, we talked about earlier. Go check out that episode. I mean, we've literally covered it all. So you're going to find something you're going to like.
Yeah, we're diehard rock and metal geeks, but I still think the Shooter Jennings episode is probably my favorite episode ever.
Yeah. I kind of have to agree. I think the Shooter Jennings episode and the Reed Mullen episode, Reed Mullen from COC, talk about two of the nicest fucking guys you'll ever meet in your fucking life. And could talk about anything. So, those were highlights. Go check those out. You can actually hear my nipples get hard in those episodes because I'm so excited that I'm talking to these people. That's how cool it was.
Yeah, I think it was the same way on the Eddie Valise from King episode.
Yes, King. Eddie Valise from King. God damn it, how we forget. We just had Skylar Kroon from He Is Legend on.
Yeah.
We've had I Apollo. We've had, God,
if you like that kind of stuff, Miss May I.
We've had, we've also had Kyle Shutt from The Sword. We've been all over the place. We're grateful to have some of these guys on. Legion.
Oh, yeah.
Super Joint.
Well, if you're listening on WSNR, we appreciate it. If you've never listened to them, you need to get on the Crikey Premium Radio app, download that thing, dial up 102.7, 24/7 rock music, and then in evenings they're playing shows like ours. We're every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central. And hey, what I just thought of when we were mentioning all the people we've had on, we mentioned Warrant. So what did you think of Warrant's cover?
Oh, shit. I liked it.
Why don't I just stay here and drink?
Yeah, I kind of thought it was going to be I kind of thought they'd do it like a faster kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and I'm kind of glad, they did a pretty cool version of it. They totally did their own thing, their own spin. They made it loud, but it wasn't douchebaggy and fucking stupid. It was great. I really enjoyed the way they did it.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
Robert Mason, I'll listen to him fucking sing anything.
Yeah. I was surprised with the fact that it wasn't faster and more rocked out, but it was rocked out, obviously, but it was like...
It was just more like a groove,
Like you said, it was like they stayed true to like the original in the sense of that the speed of it, I guess, and the feel of it, but it sounds like Warrant because it's, more rock than obviously.
Yeah, all the power to these guys and Robert Mason. And I mean, how you were saying Poison was your band that got you into all that.
Yeah.
Warrant was mine. So, I mean, I'm on board with anything these guys want to do,
Well, they announced that new album's coming out. I think it's the first week of May.
Well, guess who's going to own it?
Yeah.
Me.
And that's like the last track on the album.
Yes. I'm excited. Can't wait. I will have my fat little ass on down to the store and buy me a copy.
Hell yes. Well, we got anything else we need to talk about before we call this a day?
I think we're good. Episode 113 is in the books. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. I was going to ask you what you thought about Vinnie Moore's riff on Rock Bottom, but I guess I can't do that.
Well, I was going to ask you to go fucking have sex with yourself and quit giving me fucking shit about it, okay, Trent?
I'll do that.
Okay, good.
All right, until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.